Hi guys, so today I'm doing a review of AC/DC's Back in Black album as it celebrates its 40th anniversary this weekend when I'm uploading it. I've been a fan of AC/DC for just over 10 years now, and in the time that I've been listening to this album, you know, it hasn't changed me at all. It is still absolutely brilliant, and it's, you know, it's basically my favourite album of all time. It's the best-selling rock album, according to most sources, of all time. It's the best-selling album in the world, only after Michael Jackson's Thriller. So yeah, usually when I do these things I have some sort of script, but I don't need one for this because I know this album off by heart. And as it comes up to its 40th anniversary, this thing has not aged. Like, the production on it is absolutely spot on. It doesn't need remastering. You know, compared to some of AC/DC's albums in the 80s, which they did after this, like, you know, Fly on the Wall, Blow Up Your Video, they absolutely nailed the production value on this album. And not only did they nail the sound of it, the songs themselves they nailed, because they are absolutely brilliant. Like, there's just no other word for some of these, the songs on this album. They're just spot on. Like, absolutely perfect rock songs, and this album should be a staple in everyone's music library or music collection if you're into rock. So obviously prior to this album being released, it was actually less than half a year before this album was released, Bon Scott passed away. And, you know, the way this album has, you know, was brought about and the way it starts, it's very, you know, reminiscent of, you know, reminiscing Bon Scott's life and sort of mourning him a little bit, like how it opens with the bell. And then, obviously, the guitar riff comes in, which is just amazing. And then you get hit with Brian Johnson, the new singer, who is one of my personal heroes and role models, mainly because we share the same hometown, Newcastle upon Tyne, and I take so much pride knowing that someone from my hometown features in the best-selling album of all time. And wrote some of it as well, because he obviously wrote the lyrics. Hell's Bells was inspired by a tropical storm that hit whilst they were recording the album, and I actually had my own experience with this as well when I went to the Caribbean a couple of years back. We almost got hit by Hurricane Irma. We had like the outer bounds of it, and that was an experience, definitely. So I used Hell's Bells on like the film that I did of it, and it was iconic. Literally just iconic to sort of relive what they were going through when they recorded this album. You know, I'm pouring thunder, rolling thunder, pouring rain, I'm coming on like a hurricane, my lightning, you know, flashing across the sky. I'm fucking rambling on. Shoot a Thrill, the second track on the album. This is my all-time favourite song by AC/DC, and probably my favourite song ever in the entire world. So that says what you need to know about Shoot a Thrill. The main reason why it is my favourite song of all time is, generally, if I'm gonna fall in love with a song, it's gotta have like a good bridge, and, you know, somewhere where it sort of, you've got the solo, you've got the chorus, but then something more which adds to it, where it, you know, goes slow. And then Shoot a Thrill has that. And I mean, that bit of the song where everything sort of disperses and it takes like this whole new path and then builds up, it's just amazing. It's literally one of the best bits of music ever written. It's just so good, and the power in it is absolutely out of this world, and I will never get tired of listening to it. There needs to be more songs like it nowadays. I've already mentioned this in a lot of my other reviews, I rant on about how I want to hear more songs like this. Obviously, you know, AC/DC themselves use this sort of that finger-picking guitar that Angus Young did on that, and they used it in other stuff like For Those About to Rock, and then other bands like Airborne have used it like in the intro to Live It Up. But I absolutely love that style of guitar playing and those riffs. There's a bit like that in one of Thundermother's songs as well, Thunderous. Yeah, absolutely love it. Third track, What Do You Do For Money, Honey. That is a blueprint of what AC/DC's music is. It's a great song, it's got a great riff, goes into the verse, you know, a great hooky chorus, verse, then another chorus, then an amazing solo, and then into the outro. And it is, if you were going to pick one AC/DC song that, you know, the style and the layout and the blueprint of it, that sort of song is just them doing what they do best. It's got the riff, it's got the verse, it's got the chorus. There's nothing special about it. It's just a classic, you know, staple AC/DC song that's been in, you know, that's inspired, that sort of style has inspired so many others. So that's another great track. Number 4, Giving the Dog a Bone, another good track again, good riff. Let Me Put My Love Into You, number 5. Again, like, I love the power in bits of this song, like as it builds up to the chorus. Great as well. And then track number 6, Back in Black. I mean, I don't need to say anything about that, do I? You know, the riff is absolutely iconic to rock. It's incredible. The solos in it, it's got multiple different solos. That's phenomenal. All the guitar work is phenomenal, like in the whole album. Angus Young's a god. Although nothing seems like it's complicated, it is really fucking complicated. If I try and play the guitar and copy AC/DC, I'm absolutely hopeless. I'm genuinely hopeless at playing the guitar and trying to replicate how well Angus Young plays the guitar. Track number 7, You Shook Me All Night Long. I think there's a music video for this on the Who Made Who album that was shot around like Yorkshire or the Northeast, but this is sort of one of those songs which I really like associate with Brian Johnson, because it's just like, when I hear it, it just makes me think of, you know, him joining AC/DC, this Geordie guy from the Northeast, and then coming out with this, obviously working with Angus and Malcolm, pairing together, just coming out with this absolutely hit of a song, which it's probably one of the more poppy songs on the album, if there is, but it's like, it's a little bit more mainstream than some of the others, but that in itself as a song has done so well, and it's so catchy. It's, you know, it's got a great riff as well. Track number 8, Have a Drink on Me, again, that's brilliant. I actually used the end of this song in my intro for the channel. Love this song as well. Track number 9 and 10, there would probably, if you were gonna count anything on this album being filler, these would possibly be it, but they're still absolutely great. You know, the riff of Shake a Leg is really, really good. Shake a Leg's quite sort of reminiscent of Led Zeppelin in ways. You know, the riff and the power of it and the sort of speed of it and stuff. A great track for showing off Brian Johnson's voice. If, you know, people were listening to this in 1980 when this had came out and hadn't quite gotten over Bon yet, this would be the track where you'd finally click and you'd think, right, Brian Johnson absolutely fits in this band. Like, there probably would have been other singers, but at this point in the album, you know, you're literally thinking, could there have been a different perfect match to replace Bon Scott? And then track number 10, which closes it, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. It's not my favourite track on the album, I'm not gonna lie there, but it's a damn good track, you know. Certainly up there in, you know, some of AC/DC's more well-regarded songs. So yeah, this whole album is just an absolute beast, and it's sort of a little bit sad and emotional in a way that it's celebrating 40 years, because it seems a bit old, and it makes you think, you know, are AC/DC going to be around much longer to give us more music? But the fact that it's still in charts now, and the fact that everyone still loves it to this day, and how it doesn't seem to have aged, that is so good, you know, as it comes up to its 40th anniversary. So yeah, this has been me rambling about my favourite album in the world. I hope you enjoyed this. Next week, I'm going to be back again, actually, in my next video, reviewing Thundermother's new album, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, that'll be like my critical album reviews that I've started doing now, because the whole point with this channel and this whole AC/DC Legacy thing is to sort of make people aware and promote new and upcoming AC/DC inspired bands, but it's also, I also want to do my bit to really carry the genre and refine it and make it as good as it possibly can be. So if anything from my reviews inspires any of these bands to, you know, think about something a bit differently, or think, yeah, that was good, that worked there, then that's obviously what I'm going for with these albums, because anyone now with these reviews, because anyone nowadays can just listen to everything online for free, so you can hear it yourself. Do you know what I mean? But if I'm giving a critical album review, at least that's given some constructive criticism. So yeah, I'm going to be back next week with a critical review of Thundermother's new album. So I'll see you then, and I hope you enjoyed this, and keep listening to Back in Black for many, many more years into the future, because I don't think any of us are ever going to get tired of it.